What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 14 of Overrated, Underrated with Resilience Training and me, Coach Mike. This is that talk show where you guys give me topics based on fitness, nutrition, or sports performance, and I let you know whether I think it's overrated or underrated. Let's go ahead and view these responses. Lifting during pregnancy.
Oh, shit.
This is a tricky one. Till this day, there's a huge debate going on whether lifting during pregnancy is okay or not. I'm sure by now you've seen somewhere on social media some pregnant woman lifting weights doing power cleans or deadlifts or squats. The National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health says, quote, prolonged standing or heavy lifting increases the chance of preterm delivery or even miscarriage. Now, when anyone hears that, they think right away, okay, so I shouldn't lift when I'm pregnant.
Wrong.
But that's not all the way true. If you were active pre-pregnancy and you were lifting, exercising, and working out, and you were fit, then you should continue to exercise and to lift during pregnancy. If you look at research done by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecology, they insist that resistance training and lifting weights while pregnant is completely safe. Lifting while pregnant doesn't only keep you fit, it helps with weight management, and most importantly, it prepares your body for Labor Day. Not Labor Day, but Labor Day. But even though working out while pregnant is recommended, there are still some things to consider. One, you may have to start lifting lighter weights. Your hormones are going to be completely different, and even your ligaments are going to start stretching and be completely different than what they were pre-pregnancy. Two, you're going to have to really pay attention to your form and your technique. Three, you might want to stick with bilateral movements. Movements and exercises where both feet are planted on the ground on the same plane. With that growing belly, your center of mass totally changes. So your balance might be off a little bit and you don't want to put yourself at risk for falling. And four, you might want to introduce new routines into your fitness program, ones that will accommodate your changing state. For instance, I advise my pregnant clients no crunching or sit-ups after the first trimester. If we want to work our core, we'll work our core with more static isometric movements, like a plank, for instance. Now, if you hadn't been lifting before you were pregnant, now's not a good time to start. That doesn't mean you can't stay active and stay healthy, but I would recommend that you start learning how to lift weights after that baby comes. So, final answer, lifting while pregnant, underrated. All right, let's look at response number 2. TRIPHASIC training.
What the hell is even that?
This is a good one. This is from one of my fellow strength and conditioning friends, and I wonder if me and him have the same mindset on this. TRIPHASIC training is a training concept curated by Cal Dietz. He's the University of Minnesota head strength coach. This all started when he was observing some of his athletes, and he said, why are these two athletes very similar in their max strength in this certain move, but they're very different in the way they apply their strength? What is making them different? So he did some research. He mapped out athlete A and athlete B on a graph according to resistance and time. Even though both hit 400 pounds on their max output, there was a big difference between athlete A and athlete B. Long story short, he was able to correlate the speed that an athlete can get into his movement and the speed in which he gets out of his movement, coming to the conclusion that there are 3 essential pieces to a movement and to power production for an athlete: the eccentric phase, the isometric phase, and the concentric phase. Dietz then said, if I really want to make my athlete adapt, I need to focus my effort on one phase at a time. Imagine if I asked you to train for a triathlon and to train for a powerlifting meet at the same time. The athlete might definitely see gains, but those gains wouldn't be optimal. But if there was one focus that my athlete in our training program was pointed at, then the adaptation would be a lot greater. So Dietz then made a program. He said for 2-3 weeks, we were going to train for the eccentric phase. For 2-3 weeks, we were going to train for the isometric phase. And for 2-3 weeks, we will train the concentric phase. Hence why it's called triphasic training. By spending a considerable amount of time on each specific phase, he saw his athletes hit crazy gains.
I lift.
Why though? Because those athletes' bodies adapted to the point where they could absorb a lot of force and therefore give a lot of force. let's say you do focus on one particular phase, let's say the eccentric. All your hormones, all your ligaments, all your muscles, your brain, they will adapt to the eccentric. Even when you stop training eccentric, your body will be more resilient and resistant to the stressors that the eccentric phase comes with. Gains are inevitable. This way of training is not a specific program, it's more of a philosophy. And it is a little complex, so much so that you don't see it in your everyday sports performance center, your high school football program. Shoot, you don't even see it in many college programs. If this is something you're really interested in and you want me to dive a little bit deeper in it, or let's say you want a program that's based around it, comment below, DM me, TRIPHASIC Training, and I can make a whole video on this and we'll post it on Resilient Sports. TRIPHASIC Training, underrated. All right, let's look at one more. Weight Watchers.
What? I eat when I'm upset, okay?
Oh, all right. Weight Watchers is a weight loss program. They use a simplified calorie counting system based on your age, your height, your weight, your sex, to help you healthily lose weight. Foods high in sugar and high in saturated fat have a higher point value. Foods not processed with a lower sugar count and high in protein have a lower point value. There are even some foods they have that have 0 point value that you can eat however much you like of it. As you eat and drink during the day, you track what you eat and you add your points. When you hit your points, you're done eating. Let's say you don't hit your points. Those points can roll over to the next day. And a lot of the foods on these lists are customized by your preference. All in all, this program works. And you know how I know that? Not because I'm on Weight Watchers, it's because in our resilience training nutrition program, we adopt a lot of the same philosophies and practices.
I see what you did there.
Did you know that research shows that even people without a specific weight loss program who consistently log their food ended up losing weight? Yeah, just the practice of tracking what you're eating and being conscious of what's going into your body helps. One more recent study showed that people who track their food for 6 days out of the week lost twice the amount of weight as people who only track their food for 1 day or less. The difference between the Resilience Nutrition Program and Weight Watchers is we take the psychology piece into it with a little more oomph. Believe it or not, the psychology and the mindset training that goes into weight loss is way more important than calories and macros. And a coach that's empathetic yet holds you accountable is the perfect mix that you need with a weight loss program. But all in all, even though it's not the Resilience Nutrition Program, Weight Watchers is underrated. All underrateds today, go figure. Thank you guys for watching another episode. You guys know I love to do this. Keep hitting me with these responses and I will keep pumping out these videos. Pretty soon I'm gonna ask you again to give me topics based on nutrition, fitness, or sports performance, and I will do my best to let you know whether I think they are overrated or underrated. Stay resilient.